camera gear. Some gear is great and other gear, not so much. So here are 3 things you should avoid buying as a beginner photographer. And I'm gonna start right now. First up is slow and small SD cards. Now most SD cards today should be able to keep up with the demand of modern cameras, but as cameras get better and better, shooting higher resolution photography as well as higher resolution video, you need to make sure that your SD cards can keep up with the capabilities of your camera. So I would make sure that your SD cards are no slower than 140 megabytes per second. This will prevent buffering issues when shooting higher frame rates in photography, as well as allowing you to film up to 4K 30 frames a second in video. As well as I'd make sure that your cards are no smaller than 32 gigabytes. If you get any smaller, you constantly have to be changing them throughout the day, which would be a massive pain. So avoid buying slow and small SD cards. Next thing I would avoid buying is actually an expensive camera body. And you might be surprised to hear that, but actually, camera bodies play very little role in the overall image quality of your photos and video. Around 80% of the overall image quality aspect, I think, comes from the camera lens instead of the camera body. So if you do have a limited budget as a beginner photographer, I would spend more money on the camera lens instead of the camera body. The last thing you want to do is blow all of your money on a camera body and chuck a 100 quid lens on the front. And last is a cheap tripod. Don't go out and spend £15 on a tripod and expect it to be sturdy and offer amazing build quality. That's just never gonna happen. It's probably gonna break in around 5 minutes. Now, you don't have to go out and buy the most expensive tripod out there, like the Peak Design carbon fiber travel tripod that's like £600, but I would spend, as a beginner photographer, around £50 to £100. That will get you a nice aluminium or even carbon fiber tripod that should last you at least a couple years and be nice and sturdy, both for photography and video. Because the last thing you wanna do is buy a tripod and end up with shaky footage, or even worse, a broken camera, because the tripod just wasn't sturdy enough. So if I was you, avoid cheap tripods. And there we go, there is a short list of items that I would avoid buying as a beginner photographer, but I'm sure the list is endless. So if you can think of something else, make sure to write it down in the comments below. I've been James for Photo Fever, and I'll catch you guys next time.